So now it's actually 2 days later, and as you can see, the pine bark and the coconut fiber had an effect on the water. It turned brownish, like a tea color, but that isn't too bad. I like it actually, and it doesn't affect the water in a negative way. Instead, it is actually beneficial, especially for possible inhabitants in the water column. But the water level dropped a bit, so what we are going to do first is fill up a little bit of water, and after that we are going to start planting. First I want to plant the terrestrial part, and that is because there will be some soil maybe falling into the water, and if we plant the water first we are going to create a huge mess, I think. So first the terrestrial part and then the water column. And for the land part we have some plants here. I just bought random plants. Most of them I don't even know. Well, this is a fern. I know this one. It needs high humidity. It already starts to, yeah, it's starting to let the leaves. Well, sorry for that. My SD card just was full, got full, and now I had to change it. But yeah, we have some certain type of lily, I think. This does not go into the paludarium. This is a more like a desert plant, but I like it, so I bought it for my room. We have some creeping plants over here, and I'm sorry for not knowing the names of these, but I barely know them in German, so hey. But these are technically plants that are growing on other plants or on trees, and what they need is you only need to spray them down a few times a week. So they like high humidity for growing, and I think they're perfect for this piece of wood. So I bought 3 of these. And yeah, over here some other creeping plants. These are some pepper related plants. I don't even know. Yeah, this actually says the name. But yeah, on the middle that's the Latin name, the other words are German. And here we have some other creeping plants. I'm not sure what I bought. I just bought it because it was cheap and I think it looks cool. But that's not all for the terrestrial part. We also have some aquatic plants, which are actually swamp plants, so they will grow above the water column. And I love that effect. They always look very, very nice. So I will have to figure out, and the light just turned out. So sorry. But we have to figure out which plants are going into the water and maybe which ones should reach out of the water here and there. We definitely will plant some moss in here, especially on this part of the wood. I would love to have some moss here. Yeah, I will start with the plants for the terrestrial part now. And hopefully everything fits in here, because we don't have that much space up here. Well, we will see. So just before I start to plant the tank, one thing I was wondering about is what are the water parameters of the water column right now, because I think that the soil and everything up above could affect them, and the plant soil inside the water as well. So yeah, let's have a look on that. I have like here a multi-test. I know that these things aren't that accurate, but for a general overview it will be enough now. So let's have a look on that. Alright, with these things you just have to wait a couple of seconds and then you can have a look on it. And what we see here, not sure if you are able to see it. Come on camera, get the focus right. Man, that's bad, I'm sorry for that. But it shows that we do have some NO2, some nitrite, and that's not good. So before we start to plant or do anything else in here, I will do water change now, and it will change the water color again so it's more clear. But yeah, that I should do that because for any inhabitants, even for snails or something like that, this can be dangerous and harmful. So just one quick water change and then we will start planting. The next step is to remove most of the soil from the pots the plants are planted in, because this kind of soil most likely contains fertilizers, and those can be harmful to the animals, the creatures in general going into the enclosure. So I will show you this once, and the rest of the plants I will for the rest of the plants I will do it off camera. But yeah, just take the plant out, and you always see these small pieces here, these white ones. These are actually fertilizer pellets, and we don't want them. We just shake the plant and get most of it off, so we don't have it in the enclosure. I could also rinse them off, but I just wanted to try this first without water, and it seems to work pretty well. You can see these are almost only roots that we want. The roots will get the same nutrients like they do from the fertilizers, from the water and the soil we have in here in the enclosure, so there will be no problem. The only problem we might have and encounter in this tank is that some of these plants, they don't like too wet soil, but in here it's definitely wet all the time, and the roots are able to touch just water as well. And some plants like that a lot and grow pretty good, but others don't at all. They may die off, but yeah, we will experience that. So it's some kind of experiment we are doing here. And yeah, like this I'm finished, and now I'm even able to divide this plant into a few small pieces, which is pretty cool, I think. But yeah, only the roots, and that will go into the enclosure now. Well, this plant we just prepared, I thought because it's pretty big, the left back corner would be nice. Bigger plants in the back, smaller ones in the foreground. And yeah, I just try to dig a hole now over here, and just as usual, how you plant any plant, I'm going to put it in here. And yeah, that's kind of interesting. The regular coconut fiber soil is pretty wet, but the pine bark isn't at all. But underneath there comes the water, so that shouldn't be a problem, because we have drier parts and more wet parts. And now just the roots in here and the soil back on top of it, around here too. And that works better than I thought. I thought I don't have enough space, but I do have. That is pretty cool. Yeah, I will continue doing that with all the plants now, and at the end we'll have a look on that. And if we are finished with the terrestrial part, we'll go ahead and plant the water too. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. Nice. Stay tuned. Alright guys, now I know the glass isn't that clean, but I'm finished with the terrestrial part. So what we have here. So this one on the left and the red one in the middle, those are pepper related plants. Not sure which one at all, but hey, I think they look good. Over there is some a certain creeping plant here as well, another part there, and this one is also all creeping plants, so they cover the ground, which is perfect for this enclosure, I think. Right here, this one is a certain type of orchid, and it's pretty rare, so I had it inside of a jar because they need a really high humidity, which will be in here eventually. And sorry again, yet another of my SD cards got full. But hey, yeah, this is a certain type of orchid. I think it's called jewel orchid. And yeah, it's not looking that good right now. Usually the leaves are dark green, and these lines on the leaves are brighter green with and they shimmer. It's so beautiful. I love this plant, and I think this enclosure is perfect. It recreates the natural inhabitant of this plant, and eventually it will start growing really good in here and maybe flower. I have another part of it planted right there next to the little house I put there. And we have, yeah, these plants here. This one, and this one. I have no clue what they are called in English, and I don't even know what they are called in German right now. But what they do is they grow just with humidity. So they only need humidity in the air. So because of that, I could put one of them over here, and the other ones touching the ground, they don't need to, but they do in this case. And I think because everything is so wet in here, they will do good as well. And we also have some moss. We have some weeping moss, that actually from another tank of mine, and over here, back there, and in the front here we have some moss I found in the forest. It may contain some microorganisms, but they are not too bad for this enclosure because they break down any leaf litter and stuff like that. And over here I also just took a small piece of the lily we have, but it doesn't fit at all in here. So yeah, like this I'm pretty happy. The plants eventually will overgrow anything in here, which will look pretty cool. But yeah, now we can start with the water column. I don't know yet which plants especially I want to choose. I think some cryptocorynes, some hygrophila, and anything like that. But yeah, I will grab the old plants from this tank when it was an aquarium and some new ones, and we will see what we can create in here. Now, this is the final product. I'm pretty happy with it so far. What I planted inside the water now is, on the left side, some Hygrophila siamensis. Underneath, some Java fern, some really small pieces, but I think they will do great in here. Then some cryptocorynes, some Liliopsis. Which one was it? The Mauritana, Liliopsis mauritana. Then some more crypts, and on the right side, a really beautiful Anubias nana. This Anubias actually comes from the Paludarium that the crocodile skink is in at the moment, and I don't know why, but one or two of the leaves have some white dots, and I think that really looks great. The plant is completely healthy, so I don't think that this is some type of disease. So yeah, I don't know why, but it looks cool. Hopefully it will grow in here as well. And I also cut some holes inside of the mosquito net here. I did that because I want the fish, when we add fish in here, and if we add fish, I want them to have the possibility to go into the back part of the water column as well, so they have more space to swim in. But for feeding and everything like that, they will have to come to the front. But yeah, I'm really happy with this product so far, and I have considered inserting CO2 in here. I'm not sure about that yet, but we will see that in the future. And I won't put the crocodile skink in here today because I want to check everything for a few days if it's running like I want it to, and then I will add him, and I will do a video on that if we put anything else in here like shrimp or fish. So stay tuned for an update. I'm not sure how long this video now is going to be, but maybe I will have to divide it into 2 parts. But yeah, this is the new enclosure, the new Paludarium. I think this might be the biggest project on this channel so far, and it's pretty awesome. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a like and a comment if you want to, and subscribe. We see us on the next video. Bye.